मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम वेदांतार्थ विभासकाय गुरवे शांताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादी नगेन्द्र संघपवये योगीन्द्र वन्द्याय च मोहध्वांत दिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्य कृते नमोस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। सर्वतंत्र स्वतंत्राय सदात्माद्वैतवेदिने श्रीमते शंकरार्याय वेदांत गुरवे नमः। योऽवतीर्ण इहाचार्य रूपेण यतीनामुदे श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे तं हरिं करुणानिधिं। मननाख्यं प्रकरणं वासुदेव यतीश्वरैः रचितं विस्तरेणाद्य संग्रहेण प्रकाश्यते। बालानामुपकाराय मम विज्ञानसिद्धये तत्र श्रीबालगोपाल कृष्णः सन्निहितो भवेत्। ओम नवम वर्णकम। So we have completed 8 Varnakas, 8 chapters of Laghuvasudeva Mananam. Atma Sharitraya Vilakshana Avasthatraya Sakshi Panchakosha Vyatiriktaha Satchidananda Lakshana Iti Atmanaha Ukteshu Chaturvida Lakshaneshu Sharitraya Vilakshanatvameva Ashtama Varnake Uktam. Now somebody asks, what do you mean by word Atma? Don't say what goes from one body to another body, from one birth to another. Atma is some chidiya or what? Chidiya means what? A sparrow from one cage to another cage, from one tree to another tree, going like that. Huh? Achaloyam sanatanaha. They are showing that picture also in nice paintings that they have published. You know, from one body, from a man's body to a tiger's body, from tiger to a boar, from boar to some fish. They will show what? Like that, Atma. And this is the Sandesh of Bhagavad Gita. And Shri Krishna is saying, Achaloyam Sanatana. Achalam means Chalam means
Achalam means not moving.
Immovable.
So when Achalam it is said very clearly, then what is this going from here and there and up and down and what?
Sukshma Sharir, no?
So that is what they mean then by the Atma. That is the meaning of
No.
word Atma.
No.
And the whole thing is what? Misconceived. And therefore, now, what is the Lakshanam of Atma? This should be clear to us in our mind. Atma Shariratraya Vilakshanaha Avasthatraya Sakshi Panchakosha Vyatiriktaha Satchidananda Lakshanaha. Clear? Iti Atmanaha Ukteshu. Ukteshu Atmanaha Chaturvidha Lakshaneshu. In the fourfold Lakshanas that were mentioned, fourfold are Sharitratraya Vilakshana Avasthatraya Sakshi Panchakosha Vyatirikta Sachidananda. Now, out of this, if you remember, what is Sharitratraya Vilakshana Avasthatraya Sakshi is Tatastha Lakshana. And then
आगे के दो स्वरूप लक्षण पंचकोश व्यतिरिक्तम सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपम स्वरूप लक्षणम.
Panchakosha Vyatirikta is Swarupa Lakshana.
No, no.
Why Panchakosha is brought into the
Panchakosha
definition?
Vyatiriktata is Tatastha Lakshana.
सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपत्व means स्वरूप लक्षणम.
Then rest of the three?
You told us Vyavruti.
And Sharitratraya Vilakshana?
अतद् व्यावृत्ति लक्षणम, तटस्थ लक्षणम and स्वरूप लक्षणम.
Thank you. Iti uktam Sharitratraya Vilakshanattvam evam ashtama varnake uktam. Now we understand that Sharitratraya Vilakshanattvam was explained to us in the 8th chapter, the chapter that we just completed. Itaha param. What are you going to see the 9th chapter there? Itaha param avasthatraya sakshitvam asmin navama varanake uchyate asmin navama. So now he has, this is a very good sign of any book or any teaching, that what is going to be taught is told to you in the beginning and then it is concluded at the end. So upakrama upasamhara ekavakyata should be there. When upakrama upasamhara ekavakyata is there, you understand what is the topic. So this becomes a nirnayaka factor of tatparya of that topic. Okay? So that's why what is said in the upakrama and what is there in the upasamhara, in the beginning and end, it becomes indicative of what is being explained so far, because end is the conclusion, beginning is the pratishya. That we will tell you this, and at the end, that's why it is this. Got it? So if you look at upakrama and upasamhara, you will understand what is the topic. So therefore, if you have that upakrama upasamhara becomes one linga of tatparya nirnaya. There are 6 indicators to come to the conclusion as what is the topic. Okay. Manaha sattvarajastamo gunatmakam. Tathapi sattva pradhanameva manaha sattvikenaiva manasa atma jnatavya. The whole world, including this body as well as mind, etc., is what? Prakriti karyam, is the maya karyam, and therefore it is bound to be trigunatmaka. In spite of it being trigunatmaka, one good thing about this mind is, everywhere, what is that? Some guna is going to be predominant. Okay, some guna will always remain predominant. Not that other two are not there. Other two are also there, but they will not be predominant. They will be recessive. Dominant genes and recessive genes. Like that. So what happens? That manas sattva rajas tamo gunatmakam. Well, yes, mind is sattva rajatamo gunatmakam. Tathapi, though it is so, sattva guna pradhanameva manaha. There is, so the mind, if your mind is rajo gunatmaka or tamo gunatmaka, then it means that it is contaminated. Okay? How? It is nature of the mind to be Sattva Guna Pradhana, because that is how it is. Okay? Sattva Guna Pradhanam eva manaha. If you people remember the earlier chapters, it was said that from the Sattva Guna Amsha of all the five elements, the mind is created. Janendriya individual, but mind is combination of the Sattva Guna of all the five elements. Okay? Though it is a combination of all the five elements Sattva Guna, yet it is not Panchikrita. Why is it not Panchikrita? Because Panchikaranam happens only of the Tamo Guna Amsha. Clear? So how is this mind? Therefore, it is Sattva Guna Pradhanam. And therefore, to keep the mind in that phase, in that Sattva Guna, is to stay in the natural state. Okay? But Swamiji, my natural state is angry all the time. I like to be angry all the time, frustrated. So that's why, no matter how angry you may be, yet that person will also like to become peaceful. Why? Peaceful and happy. Why? Because this is your natural state. Okay? So you also just find this out. The time when there is Sattva Guna predominating in the mind, you will feel lighter. There will be light. Bhagavan Shri Krishna also says that when the Sattva Guna becomes, there will be light through all the dwaras coming out. You will feel light, and there will be light from all the dwaras. So, why? And then Satvikena eva manasa, so that mind, when it remains in its natural state, which is Sattva Guna Pradhana, then what happens? Satvikena eva manasa, Atma Jnatavyaha. That is Atma will be known through the mind which is Sattva Guna Pradhana only. When the mind leaves its Sattva Guna Pradhanata, now that knowledge will be distorted. And you have known this, that distorted knowledge is not no knowledge. It is a error. It is an error. Distorted knowledge is not knowledge. So therefore, nacha rajasena tamasena va, napi tamasena. So when that mind is very agitated, angry, agitated, not through that mind, not even through the mind which is depressed and frustrated, not through that mind also. He is living in a state of perpetual hopelessness. Nairashyam. No. So, okay. It is how Sattva Guna Pradhana. So, not by Rajasena, napi Tamasena. Tatra Sattva Gunaha Sukshmaha, Rajo Gunash Chanchalaha, Tamo Gunas Sthulaha. In general, what do we understand about these three gunas? Sattva Guna is subtle, Sukshma. How is Rajo Guna? Chanchalaha. Chanchalaha means fickle, agitation. Chanchalaha. Tamo Guna is sthula, very gross. So, Tasmat, धूम प्रवेश योग्ये रंध्रे बृहत् स्तंभो यथा न प्रविशति. There is one small run, small aperture, and that aperture is so small that only Dhuma can go through it. Okay. Dhuma means, Ambika, what is Dhuma?
Smoke.
Smoke. Nowadays, you get that agarbatti stand, there are jali. You put them because you don't want the ash to fall everywhere, so they have made that agarbatti stand, jali wale. You see? So that the randhra is so small that only smoke will come out, the ash, etc., will not fall out. But any which ways, so dhuma pravesha yogye randhre, then somebody wants to put a pillar in there. Then we will put a pillar in that randhra. How? So brihat stambho yatha na pravishat. वायुना चलिते दीप प्रकाशे सूक्ष्म वर्णो निर्णेतुम यथा न शक्यते. Now, in the olden days, they used to have these palm leaf manuscripts. And if you see, the lettering over there is sukshma, is very fine. Then, if somebody wants to read that in a flickering flame, in the light of a flickering flame, it becomes impossible, difficult to read. So both these examples are of sukshma. Randhra is also sukshma. Okay. And even these aksharas, these varnas are also sukshma, very small, very fine. So over there, the moguna, which is gross, cannot work. Not even that light which is flickering will allow you to understand, see something that is sukshma. Similarly, nirnetum yatha na shakyate tatha eva. Now come to the point that is made through these two examples. Tatha eva atmani jnatavye sati. If one wants to know Atma, jnata, what is jnatavya? For you now presently, what is it that you want to know? Atma is jnatavya. Jnatavya sati. If this is your jnatavya, then sukshma manasa eva satvikena jnatavya. So therefore, how Atma, the self, will be known? Through mind, which is sukshma. Okay, satvikena eva jnatavya. That's why when we are saying sukshma manasa means satvikena. Where have you brought this from? He says, we have not. This is what you have brought from your own this thing hat. No, sir. The Upanishad saying, Drishyate tvagraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshini. That this Atma is known through sukshma buddhi alone. And how has that sukshma buddhi got to be? Extremely fine. Okay? Because the line between Satyam and Mithya is fine. Alankar is gold, but gold is not Alankar. You understand? Ornament is gold, but gold is not ornament. You have to, in order, so this world is Brahman, but Brahman is not world. So there is this very fine line. And in order to understand this, how do you require? Buddhi should be single pointed, sukshma, fine, agra, tivra, sharp. है ना? So therefore, this gross buddhi, which understands, this is what dhokla is also the same, idli is also the same. Na? Mano, dhokla and idli is same or not?
Very much same.
Now that buddhi which is engaged only in the hridayas of these things, how will it go to Atma? And therefore, sukshma manasa eva satvikena jnatavya. That's why over here, Prantavad, etc. does not work. Nobody ever says that Shankar Siddhanta is a Kerala Siddhanta. But there is Gaudiya Vaishnava also. Gaudiya means from Bengal. Why Gaudiya? It is Vaishnava Siddhanta. But why do you have to make it associated? Now this is how it is. Then that's why it becomes what? Sthula. Iti tathaiva atmani jnatavye sati sukshma manasa eva satvikena jnatavyaha. Anyatha sthula manasa chanchala manasa cha sukshmasya atmanaha swarupam kinchidapi na pratibhati. And therefore that mind which is now that which is engaged only in the gross world and which is directed only by ambition and desires, that mind is not useful over here when it comes to knowing Atma. Kinchidapina pratibhati. That's why this some people say, oh, we don't understand all these things. What do you understand? Politics. We understand other things. Where to eat in the evening, which restaurant to go. You ask, this fellow has a whole list of it. So, chanchala sthula manasa, chanchala manasa cha, sukshmasya atmanaha swarupam kinchidapi na pratibhati. You don't have a book? अच्छा, न प्रतिभाति तस इतने दिनों के बाद. Okay. Okay. Tasmat savadhana shunu. And therefore now what is the conclusion of this discussion? That let not your mind become astray and become dominated by tamo guna or rajoguna. This is, Puja Gurudev used to say this. Your actual sadhana is to see to it that sattva guna rises in life. Swami Chinmayanand used to say this. Your actual sadhana, what you are asking for sadhana is just this. See to it that the sattva guna is on a rise. Tasmat savadhana shru. Therefore, stay alert and then go to sleep. Shruno, suno. That's right. Savadhan ho jao. Savadhana shruno. Listen. Avasthatrayam kathmiti chet. So what is the lakshanam that we are going to see in the 9th chapter? Avasthatraya sakshi. How is Atma? The sakshi of all the three avasthas. So avasthatraya kathmiti chet. How do you say three avasthas? Shrunu. Jagradavastha, Swapnavastha, Sushuptavastha, Cha iti avastha. Actually, in Brahma Sutra, we have included, Bhagavan Vyasa has included two more, Murcha and also Mrityu. But what we are going to do with Murcha and Mrityu? So keep these three and that is enough. Okay. So Jagradavastha, Swapnavastha and Sushuptyavastha cha iti avastha. Tatra sakalendriyaihi bhayarthopalambhe Jagravastha. Now write this as the definitions of avasthas. Keep it with you. What is called as Jagradavastha? Sakalendriyaihi. Whether it is the Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas. When all the indriyas are able to associate themselves with their appropriate arthas, fields. So what is the field for Chakshurindriya? What is the artha? What is the object of Chakshurindriya?
Colors and forms.
Rupa and Ranga. Colors and forms. What is the artha of Shravanendriya? So when the Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha and the respective objects of the Karmendriyas are becoming available through the Indriyas, then it is called as Jagradavastha. Sakalendriyaihi bhayarthopalamto Jagradavastha. It is an upalabdhi. Upalabdhi of what? Availability of what? Of the arthas. Which arthas are these? That bahyarthas. How do these arthas become available to you? Through the Indriyas. Okay. So when these arthas become available to you through the Indriyas, that is called as Jagradavastha. Then what is Swapnavastha? Because in Swapnavastha also you are experiencing Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. Isn't it? So that's why you say, na, oh, yesterday in Swapna, I had a dream and I was eating this rasgulla. Oh, I remember the taste. You wake up, rasgulla, you remember. So how come? So some rasa was available, na? So he says now, that object which is available to you, but that is not what was made available to you through the Indriya. But how did it become available? Through the impression which was there in the mind. And that impression alone, that samskara alone, surfaced as the object of experience. There is no object. What were you experiencing? Only samskara. Okay. So Jagrada Vasanaya. So in the Jagrada Avastha, obviously you are having experience of these objects. So those objects which are experienced now leave an impression, right? Samskara. Now, because of those samskara, what happens? Antakaranasya bhoktru-bhogyadi rupena parinama. The antakaran itself undergoes a transformation wherein one part of the antakarana becomes the bhokta, the other part becomes the bhogya. What is it actually? Antakaranam only. But how is it acting? As two different, dichotomized as bhokta and bhogya. So, so that when this happens, bhoktru bhogyadi rupena parinamaha. But because of what has this happened, what was responsible to create this dichotomy of the antakarana? Samskara, jagrad vasana. Okay, vasana means not necessarily a desire. Vasana also means samskara. So because of that samskara, now what has happened? Antakarana gets dichotomized as bhoktru-bhogyadi rupena parinamaha. When this happens, this is called as swapnavastha. Okay? It's a nice definition, right? Jagrata avastha is what? Sakalendriyaihi bahyarthopalambha Jagrata avastha. What is swapnavastha? Jagrata vasanaya antakaranasya bhoktru bhogya rupena parinamaha swapnavastha. By hearted. Okay. Then what is sushupti avastha? Here is sushupti avastha. Sthula sukshma jagataha sarvasyatma karane ajnane dayanantaram ajnanasya kevala sakshivedyasya avasthanam sushupti. Ajnanasya avasthanam, where ajnanam remains. But ajnanam is there even in your jagrata avastha also. At this moment also, where does one know that Atma is Brahman? So now you considering yourself as body, as a man or a woman, good, bad, punyavan, papi, karta, bhokta. This is all what? Ajnanam only, na? So ajnanam is there. Ajnanasya avasthanam is there. Is there now also. Ignorance is there even now. But this is Jagrata avastha. And therefore, he says that Sakshivedyasya Ajnanasya, that how is this Ajnanam? It is illumined only by the Sakshi. Kevala Sakshivedyasya Ajnanasya Avasthanam is not just called as Sushupti. Sushupti Avastha. Even this Ajnanam, this Avidya Dasha is also called as Sushupti in Bhagavad Gita. Ya Nisha Sarvabhutanam तस्यांचाग्रति संयमी या क्या है या यस्याम जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मे. Okay, but now over there we are not dealing with that. We are dealing with this avasthatrayas, because over there is no avasthatraya. There are only two avasthas. In that case, what is that? Jnanam and ajnanam. Jnanam over there is considered to be Jagrati, and ajnanam is Sushupti. So that's why there is no provision for third avastha. So naturally, what we have, we are not dealing with that topic. We are dealing with avasthatraya. And therefore now, ajnanasya avasthanam, if it is said, that will overspill into Swapna and Jagrat also, because Ajnanam is prevalent in both these avasthas too. Then when will it be called as Sushupti? Here it goes. Sthula Sukshma Jagataha. Whether it is the Sthula Jagat, which is experienced through the Indriyas, or it is the Sukshma Jagat, which is experienced only through the Vasanas. Okay. Sarvasyapi Karane, everything has dissolved back into its cause. What is the cause of Sthula Sukshma Jagata? Ajnanam alone. Ajnane Dayanantaram, everything is gone. And therefore, in Sushupti, you don't see any objects, nor is there any Indriyas to perceive the objects. Objects means Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. What you are actually seeing is this, the world is nothing but different forms of Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, nothing else. You understand? Each one wants to say that I am special, I am special. Look at my nose and look at my eyes and look at my hair. What, after all, what? What special? Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha only. Even if your nose is some nice shape and all, it still will be perceived through the eyes only. What else? I'm going to see your nose or some Bonda nose through my eyes only. So what is this? What's the big deal? And therefore, Sthula Jagata, or whether it is the Sukshma Jagata, when it gets dissolved, where so the objects are not seen, even the instruments of perception are not there, even the ahankara who has become the perceiver is also not there. So the perceiver, the instruments of perception, the objects of perception and perception, nothing is there because everything is dissolved back into its karanam, back to its cause. And that cause is, I don't know what is it. So, and therefore that cause is ignorance. Where has it gone? I don't know. Where has this ego gone? Is there any answer? Gone where? To your neighbor's house or what? Gone means gone where? Do you have a location to show? Can you show? No, we can't. I don't know where it has gone. From where has it come? And therefore, not knowing is the source of all this. And that not knowing means it is ignorance. And therefore, the Sthula Jagat or Sukshma Jagat, it all goes back to its Karanam, means goes back to Ajnanam. Okay? Then, this Ajnanam is also Vedya. Vedya means not Vaidya. Vaidya means a doctor. We are not talking about a Vaidya. What are we talking about? Vedyam. Vedya means known. Something that is known. Vedyam. It is Vedyam. But you do not have any instruments of knowing. How can that Ajnanam also be known? It says known means over. Anything that gets illumined is called as being known. Correct? Illumined. So even this Ajnanam, which is a total darkness, also gets illumined. And it is illumined by the Sakshi, by the witness, by this consciousness. And therefore, Ajnanam is known, is illumined by the Sakshi consciousness. Kevala Sakshi Vedyasya. It is not Indriya Vedya. It is not even this Pramata also cannot do it. Then known to whom? Known in the sense illumined by whom? Sakshi alone. So, Sthula Sukshma Jagataha Sarvasyapi Karane Ajnane Dayanantaram Ajnanasya. Now this Ajnana, when it remains like this, where it has not expanded into Sthula Sukshma Jagat, Sukshma Jagat means, you know what is Sukshma Jagat? What? 17. What 17? Its age?
पंच ज्ञानेन्द्रिय, पंच कर्मेंद्रिय, पंच प्राण, मन बुद्धि.
This is Sukshma Jagat. Mana and Buddhi. So, Pancha Karmendriya, Jnanendriya Panchakam, Karmendriya Panchakam, Prana Panchakam, Mana Buddhi. How many? Got a count of 17? This is Sukshma Jagat. Okay. It is Sthula Sukshma Jagataha Sarvasyapi Karani Ajnane Dayanantram Ajnanasya Kevala Sakshi Vedyasya Avasthanam. When Ajnanam alone remains, this is called as Sushupti. So thus you have these three avasthas: Jagrata Avastha, Swapna Avastha, and Sushupti Avastha. Let's go over this again. What is called as Jagrata Avastha? Sakale Indriyaihi Bahyatu Padamha is called as Jagrata Avastha. Then Sthula Jagrata Vasanaya Antakaranasya Bhoktru Bhogya Rupena Parinamaha Swapna Avastha. And then what is the third? Sthula Sukshma Jagataha Sarvasyapi Karane Ajnane Dayanantaram Ajnanasya Kevalasya Ajnanasya. Karana alone remains. The Karya has not come out of that. And therefore Kevalasya Ajnanasya. So Kevala and that and it is also the Kevala word can be used there. But over here, Kevala Sakshi Vedyasya. Sakshi Vedya is the what do they call it? Visheshana. Visheshana means adjective of Ajnana. Sakshi Vedyasya Avasthanam Sushuptihi Evam Avasthatrayam. This is what is called as the Avasthatrayam. What is Atma Lakshanam? What is the Lakshanam of Atma? Avasthatraya Sakshi. So in this definition, we have the portion which is Avasthatraya. So now once when you have understood what is Avasthatraya, then the second part is the Sakshi. Okay. So we will see that next time when we meet. Om
Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamatai Purnameva Avasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantam Puna Puna Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Beta Vivagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर
हर हर महादेव। श्री
Thank you
गुरुभ्यो
all.
नमः।
Thank you very
धन्यवाद।
much.